Wait! 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 Down here at Westminster Railways, it's been a pretty momentous week. Events have moved at the pace of a high-speed German locomotive. Rather than the sedate pace of Britain's finest train.
I hear the ghost train, and I hear it's black and white.
The week started off looking, well, frankly, a bit dull. There was a bit of joshing of Ed Miliband after a robotic television interview which prompted yet more criticism of his leadership. But the main story was going to be a report into the funding of long-term care for the elderly by the economist Andrew Dilnot.
This is about all of our lives. It's great that we're living longer, we should be celebrating that, but all too often people are frightened about the prospect of growing older because they don't know what will happen to them if they need care.
All our political leaders agree on the need for change as we cope with an ever-ageing population. But they are spooked by the £1.7 billion cost of the Dilnot proposals. Expect warm words about the need for cross-party talks and the sound of knives sharpening in the background just in case they fail. And then came the story which changed the course of the week and shook the political and media classes. The Guardian reported that the News of the World had hacked into the phone of Millie Dowler. This was a change-making moment that took this long-running saga out of the world of showbiz and politics and woke the British people up to tabloid tactics condemned by the Times as reprehensible. Ed Miliband was quick to call for Rebecca Brooks, editor at the time, to resign.
Of course she should consider her position, but this goes well beyond one individual. This is about the culture and practices that were obviously going on at that newspaper, the News of the World, over a sustained period.
That was quite a step for Ed Miliband. Not since the Wapping dispute in the 1980s has a leader of the Labour Party made such a direct challenge to the mighty Murdoch empire. The established order in which the party in power and the party hoping to be in power pay obeisance to the grumpy Australian, well, that's been ruptured for good. The furore overshadowed the Prime Minister's visit to Afghanistan, where he had hoped to focus on his plans to withdraw 500 British troops next year.
If they are true, this is a truly dreadful act and a truly dreadful situation. What I've read in the papers is quite shocking.
Back home, David Cameron tried to take the initiative at Prime Minister's questions by agreeing to hold a public inquiry. But the exchanges heated up when Ed Miliband demanded that Rupert Murdoch's attempt to take full control of B-Sky B should be referred to the Competition Commission.
The public will react with disbelief if next week the decision is taken to go ahead with this deal at a time when News International is subject to a major criminal investigation.
What we have done here is followed, absolutely to the letter, the correct legal processes. That is what the government has to do. My right honourable friend, the Secretary of State, is in a quasi-judicial role. He has to follow that.
Miliband, who's been struggling in recent months, did rather better than this little chuff-chuff and turned into an intercity 125.
He's got to accept that he made a catastrophic error of judgment by bringing Andy Coulson into the heart of his Downing Street machine.
Take the last train to Clarksville and I'll meet you at the station. You can be here by 4:30 'cause I've made your reservation. Don't be slow.
One disgruntled source at News International told me that the Prime Minister had shown hubris in bringing Andy Coulson into Downing Street with him, even as the net tightened. My source also told me that the Prime Minister had underestimated the determination and the ability of the Guardian and Labour backbenchers to pursue this matter.
Mr. James Murdoch is the chairman. It is clear now that he personally and without board approval authorised money to be paid by his company to silence people who'd been hacked and to cover up criminal behaviour within his organisation.
Just 24 hours later, James Murdoch issued a statement saying yes, he had approved out-of-court settlements, but he added that he didn't know the full picture.
There was a particular settlement that I authorised, and I've said was made with information that was incomplete. I acted on the advice of executives and lawyers with incomplete investigation, and that's a matter of real regret for me personally.
And then came the killer blow. The News of the World, well, that's going to be shunted off the tracks. Oh, watch out. Here comes the Sun on Sunday. As for Gordon the Grumpy Engine, it's been a week of mixed emotions. He thinks he'd still be running the railways if these allegations had come out 18 months ago.
Runaway train never going back. Wrong way on a one-way track. Seems like I should be getting somewhere.
Britain's railways used to be the envy of the world, a bit like our press. This has been a great train journey. But look, there's Michael Portillo.